Good morning, fifth grade Broncos. I hope you're doing well today. It's another week. And now this is our video lesson. We're going to go over everything we're going to be doing today. So first I'm going to go to Google Classroom. I posted an exemplar science journal. And this is going to show you everything that should be in your science journal for last week. Please make sure that you review your science journal and look at the exemplar and see if you're missing any information. And if you're still missing that as an assignment, if you haven't turned it in yet, either digital or paper. So you can do it on your digital, on your iPad, or just on paper. But either way, you have to turn it in so that your teacher can see it, okay? So be sure and check out the exemplar. And then today's assignment, the first thing is our visual literacy mat. Now the visual literacy mat, you may remember from last year, we're going to do it page by page. It'll be on Jamboard for those of you that like Jamboard and can get on, or it'll be on a PDF. And this is our visual we'll be looking at. And every day you're going to be making some responses and review it. You need to complete pages 2 and 3 on Monday, and then 4 on Tuesday, page 5 on Wednesday, 6 on Thursday, and 7 on Friday. The whole thing is due on Friday. You're going to have to come back to this assignment every day this week, and it's only going to be attached to Monday so that you can keep changing the same one, all right? We're not going to have a bunch of different ones. So you want to describe what you see in this picture in complete sentences. We need 2 to 3 sentences. And question number 1 is, what detailed observations can you make? What do you see in this picture? 2 to 3 sentences of what you see. And again, you can write it on the PDF, or you can it's also available on Jamboard if that's easier for you, or you can write your answer on a piece of paper and upload the photo, okay? We have to be able to read it though, okay? And then the same thing you're going to do is you're going to, on the second page, you're going to tell me what kind of connections can you make. I want 2 to 3 sentences. Have you ever seen anything like this? Have you ever studied it before in class? What does it remind you of that you've done before or you've done in your life? Okay, 2 to 3 sentences on that and on the first page. All right, and turn it in. Assignment number 2 is our Flipgrid. Please hit the attached link and do your recording. All of last week's Flipgrids have been frozen, so you can still see what people have said, but you're not allowed to post anymore to last week's Flipgrid. I would like you to just start with this week's Flipgrid. Just start with Monday and put your responses in. And then you're supposed to respond to the question. There'll be a question written at the top, and then you respond to 2 other students' responses. And the last thing we're going to do today is a CER, and I'm going to talk to you about that after the lesson. All right. So that's the 4 things for the 3 things that are due today. Plus, watching this lesson will be the 4th thing. Let's take a look at today's lesson. Okay, on our lesson now, we're going to be reviewing our scientific experiments and analyzing them. Let's take a look at the presentation. All right, let's analyze it. Reviewing scientific experiments. Okay, did the fertilizer make the plant grow faster? Yes, right? But how do you know? You know the fertilizer made the plants grow faster because you collected the data. You measured the plants at the start of the experiment and at the end. You recorded your data. You recorded the measurements in your notebook. You reviewed the data. You thought about if the data proves the hypothesis is true. Let's look at another experiment that we haven't already looked at all last week. Does this experiment prove the basketball bounces the highest? Is the basketball bouncing the highest? The basketball, for those that don't know, is the orange ball all the way on the right. Did that ball go all the way up, or is it the highest? No, right? Why not? Can you explain why? Well, yeah, you know the basketball did not bounce the highest because you looked at your data and you concluded that the red ball bounced the highest, didn't you? So that's kind of easy, right? But then what do? Once you figured that point out, what do you do after you've analyzed the data? You're going to report your findings with a CER, a claim. You're going to write, I claim that. You're going to show your evidence. You'll say the evidence shows that. And then you're going to share your reasoning. Explain your thinking to us. This is what you do after you have reviewed the experiment and concluded if the hypothesis was true or not. You're going to report with a CER. Let's try one together. Does adding salt to water make pasta cook faster? So your hypothesis might be adding salt to water will make pasta cook faster. Your data. So for trial 1, pasta cooked in regular water was 9 minutes, and the pasta cooked in salt water was 9 minutes. And in trial 2, the pasta cooked in regular water in 8 minutes and cooked in salt water in 8 minutes. And then for trial 3, the pasta cooked in regular water for 9 minutes and in salt water for 9 minutes. Is the hypothesis true? No, right? They were the same a time. So your claim, so you thought about that, right? Let me go back. You thought about it and said, oh, it did not make it cook faster. I know people sometimes say that it happens, but it doesn't really, unless you're going to record in microseconds, it does not really cook faster. So you're going to, now that you've figured that part out, now you have to communicate. You're going to tell me a claim. You're going to say, I claim that adding salt to water did not make the pasta cook faster. And then you're going to show me your evidence. The evidence shows that the pasta cooked for 9 minutes in regular water and 9 minutes in salt water. And then you're going to share your thinking with me. Because the pasta cooked the same in both types of water, that proves that adding salt to water did not make it cook faster. Does that make sense? You're going to explain to me how you came to your decision on your conclusion with a CER. We're going to be using CERs all year. For the first CERs we do, you're only going to fill in the blanks in the worksheets so that you can kind of see what they should include and how they should look. You'll sometimes have a word bank to use, okay? Pay attention and think about what sentences you would write, okay? So the first few we do is going to be kind of easy, and you're just going to put the words in. But I want you to pay attention and think about what sentence you would write. Because next week, we're going to do 2 this week with fill in the blank. And next week, I'm going to start maybe making it a little more hard, have a little bit more work for you to do. Okay? Because eventually, once we're comfortable with the CERs, you will answer in complete sentences with the help of sentence stems that Miss Brandon will provide. So like the data shows blank. So you would fill in the blank part, or based on blank, I can conclude that blank, right? So these are just sentence stems to help you build your own sentences. Okay, so like I said, the first few are going to be fill in the blank, and then we're going to have you do more of the work yourself. Now you can give it a try. Let's look at today's CER. So this is the one you have to do, okay? Claim evidence reasoning week 1. This is going to be the first one. Does vinegar and water freeze at the same temperature? Ariana did an experiment to find out. She placed 1 cup of water and 1 cup of vinegar in a few different temperatures for 8 hours and observed what happened. This is the data that she collected. So the temperature was 36 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and 28 degrees Fahrenheit. And for the water, she used 1 cup, and vinegar, she used 1 cup. And at 36 degrees Fahrenheit, water was liquid and vinegar was liquid. And at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the water was solid and the vinegar was liquid. And at 28 degrees Fahrenheit, the water is a solid and the vinegar is a solid. So if you think about that, do you think that the vinegar and water freezes at the same temperature when you look at that data? I want you to think about what you think. So then we're going to have our question, does vinegar and water freeze at the same temperature? And then you're going to have your claim, and you're going to write what you claim the answer to the question is. And this time, just fill in the blank. So the sentence says, I claim that vinegar something either does or does not. So you're going to either put does or does not in there. It does or does not freeze at the same temperature as water. I want you to look at that data and tell me what you claim. Okay? Then you're going to do evidence. List the evidence that supports your claim. Fill in the blank. At 32 degrees Fahrenheit, the water is a what? Right there. What is it? Is it a solid, a liquid, or a gas? And then the vinegar is what? A solid, a liquid, or a gas? You can look at your data to see. Look at your data chart. And then at 28 degrees Fahrenheit, the water is what? Is it a solid, a liquid, or a gas? And then the vinegar, is it a solid, liquid, or a gas at 28 degrees? You're going to fill in that blank. And then at the end, you're going to share your reasoning. Explain to me your thinking. Why does the evidence support your claim? Fill in the blanks. When a liquid freezes, it turns into a blank, either solid or gas. Water became a solid at which degrees Fahrenheit? Go back to your data collection, a data chart, and fill that in. Water became a solid at something degrees Fahrenheit, and vinegar became a solid at something degrees Fahrenheit. So then tell me, when does vinegar become a solid? Look on your data chart. Okay, so we're figuring that part out. And then because they became solid at different temperatures, that means they what? Did they freeze or melt at different temperatures? Okay, fill in the blank and then submit it. All right, y'all. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. Good job, scientists.